Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a controversial breaking news today in International Affairs show from Satv. Indian Parliament, Indian Foreign Minister Dr. Joy Shankar confirmed PM Modi has no call with US President Trump between April 22 to June 16, contradicting previous speculation regarding the influence of stopping India-Pakistan war. This will give us a new dimension in discussion. And I have other breaking news. Russian missile and drone strikes killed at least 25 civilians in Ukraine, including attacks on a prison and in a hospital. Zelensky demanded stronger US pressure to Russia. These two breaking news I have. Let me introduce my very distinguished and very respectable panelist today, our international affairs commentator, Shamsul Alam Pantho, and we have our very respectable lawyer, advocate Mohsin Rashid is with us. I'll put so many tough questions to his table as well. First, let me request Mr. Shamsul Alam Pantho, what are the other issues you have been noticed to be discussed to our show today?
Well, very good afternoon to you, Mr. Rashid Kanchan. A very good afternoon to our viewers, and of course, it's good to see Advocate Mohsin Rashid back in our studio. I picked out three big stories. Let me begin with an magnitude 8.8 earthquake has struck off the coast of Russia. It's one of the bigger earthquakes that has happened this year, and it has triggered tsunami warnings all across the Pacific Ocean. According to various news agencies, the death toll in the Gaza Strip has now surpassed 60,000. It is now standing somewhere near 60,000, 34 Palestinians killed as of the start of the war. And UK and other countries had recognized the state of Palestine in something that was very shocking to the entire two-state conference held at the UN. First, it was France, and immediately so it followed with David Lammy's speech at the UN, who said that they will recognize Palestine unless Israel takes substantive steps to solve this issue. And that would be the top three that I've picked out for today.
Sir, as I said that in the Indian Parliament, Indian Foreign Minister Dr. Joy Shankar said that during the Pakistan-India 4 days war, there has no record of talking between PM Narendra Modi and Donald Trump. But Donald Trump claimed with media that he has stopped the war. He has talked with both the leaders. What is the consequences of this revealing of information?
See, I'll tell you, India keeps on lying all the time. When the Kargil war was there, Nawaz Sharif was the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Clinton was in the White House,
yes, sir,
and Musharraf was the Chief of Staff. So Musharraf personally went into Kargil, and Kargil was almost taken over by Pakistan. Then it was Bajpayee, who was the Prime Minister, he rushed to Clinton, and Clinton then called up Nawaz Sharif. So Nawaz Sharif was summoned to the White House, and over there Nawaz Sharif said, I have no idea what is going on in Kargil. So he said, this is the situation, please stop. He said, if anything is done, it's being done by Musharraf himself. So he went back, recalled, the troops were recalled, and of course in the meantime the Indians were also fighting there with the Pakistanis, and they had huge number of body bags. If you remember, Fernandez was the defense minister at the time in the Indian cabinet. He was charged for corruption over coffins. There was so much of coffins and bags that they made crores and crores and crores of takas in buying these coffins. So now what he says is, throughout these days, these weeks that Pakistan and India fought, we have heard they said, no, nothing has happened to us. Everything is safe. All our aircrafts are safe. Nothing has happened. And yesterday, I think, Modi gave a speech in the parliament saying we are victorious because we achieved our targets. This is the speech he is giving.
Yes, sir.
And the whole world says that they have lost the war. The whole world says that 7 aircrafts were downed, which included Rafales and
Yes, sir.
Sukhoi and all these aircrafts. So, you know, they claim victory. Well, it's their parliament. They can say anything they want to. But when Trump says that it was I who stopped the war, and then subsequently invites the Pakistan army chief
Asim Munir.
Asim Munir
Yes, sir.
over lunch to the White House. What does it signify? He does not take lunch or invites people who are not worthy of being invited to the White House. He does that. And he claims, so Asim Munir says that you deserve a peace prize, a Nobel. Then you have seen footages of Netanyahu sitting in a meeting after Asim Munir in the White House, and he gives an envelope. He stands up, passes an envelope to Trump saying that, Mr. President, we have nominated you for the Nobel to the Norwegian Nobel Committee. And he hands over the letter that they have sent to them. So, see, Indians can keep on lying. They never admitted to these 7 loss, except 2-3 days back when their CDS, he accepted to 5 losses. So, I mean, they keep on lying. They are liars of the highest order, particularly the BJP government in particular.
Exactly, sir. I want to give you one example during Kargil. That time, Indian Foreign Secretary was Yasavan Sinha, General Yasavan Sinha. He said that in Kargil, India has lot to learn to maintain its neighbors strategically and militarily. That statement I still remember because as a journalist I was that time in Delhi. I want to take your part also, Mr. Shamsul Alam Pantho.
Sure.
That is what one Indian commentator who is criticizing Indian government, that after the war, if a government promote his army chief, it is a signal that it is a reward. Pakistan government has promoted General Asim Munir into Field Marshal. India did not have any actions on the military, and according to his speech, Pakistan won this 4 days war. What do you say?
Well, I mean, it was regarding a terrorist attack, and the starting of this entire war that they had with Pakistan did not have any kind of grounds. And of course, in my opinion, it would be that India broke international law targeting and conducting precision strikes all the way inside Pakistan, and definitely Pakistan had retaliated. Of course, in the modern era, we also see that war is not only fought with military power, it is also fought with intrinsic principles such as the information war, if you would call it a war of narratives. I've said it numerous times before. Here on very many instances, Donald Trump claims that it was his trade negotiation and this trade issue that he used to settle this dispute between India and Pakistan. But if you look at the core of the problem, the water sharing pact, the Indus Water Treaty, many of the cross-border trade issues that there were, these are not solved as of yet. And millions of farmers inside Pakistan are still wary of how much water they'll have to survive a crop growth. However, of course, the EAM, Mr. Jaishankar, had said that it was completely due to India's military tactics that they had. They claim that they win this war, but not just Pakistan, across every other nation who are there in the global field, they think that this is a new abnormal that is coming out of India. Of course, Donald Trump, being the leader of the United States, President of the United States, he did say many times that it was his negotiation skills that had ended this war. A similar notion we see between Cambodia and Thailand. Of course, that one was mediated by Anwar Ibrahim of
Malaysian Prime Minister.
So, of course, US wants to actively stop wars, but also create them in some capacities as well.
They are helping Israel to kill
Exactly.
the innocent people. As you raised about the trade and tariffs war, this is a new dimension in the global politics and geopolitical relationship. I want to draw Advocate Mohsin Rashid's attention on this. Sir, US global tariff levels have surged to 17.3%. Could this escalate into a full blown trade war with China and with the EU, those countries were the NATO member and almost their allies? Whatever United States or Washington says, they follow that. Now it is a new beginning trade war, 17.3% tariffs on European countries.
Well, you see, yesterday, US and the EU have come to an agreement to 15%. Before this agreement, the EU delegation a day or 2 days before that was in Beijing.
Accurate.
This lady Ursula, whatever her name is,
She was there.
she was there in Beijing, and the other chap, the president or of the commission, they were all there. The full team of EU was there, and they had very tough talks. Eventually, Xi stopped further discussion with them. He did not say, please leave, but he virtually, by his actions and other things, he meant that please leave, go and work with the United States. So that is where they went. Having done that, they immediately went back to the US and entered into this tariff agreement of 15%. Now, question is, can European Union sustain it? Because how much import can they do from the United States? United States is a net importer from EU.
Yes, sir.
They are not somebody, EU is not a country which imports too much from the United States. So that is one. Now, let me say a bit about Bangladesh. Let me also tell you that Vietnam has signed an agreement with them,
Yes.
20%.
20%. It was
Okay.
at 35 as well.
Yes, so that was also 35, 20%. Bangladesh, unfortunately, this government is so stupid that they have no idea how they should handle these things. Now, what they did was, the first letter that was sent by this government, signed by Yunus to Trump, they said, we will buy soybean from you, no tariff, no duty. We will buy cotton from you, no tariffs, no duty. Boeing. Now what has happened is, when he got this letter, so they have got about 100 things. They have divided it into 6 broad categories.
Jesus.
6 broad categories. And in those 6 broad categories, they've got 100 things, 100 items
Yes.
on which they're discussing. Now, in those 100 items, I don't know how they think that they will come to an agreement when they are talking on those 100 items, because you have to buy Boeing. You cannot procure aircraft from any other country. Many think that Boeing is a problem. Even my Bangladesh Biman, in the past 1 month, there have been cases where the Biman had to come back, fly
Yes.
back to Dhaka, land for repairs and other things. Our aircrafts, Dorja has been blown off. These are Boeing aircrafts. You have seen what has happened to Boeing 737
Yes, sir.
MAX and other things. Aircraft is Airbus is still doing much
Better than Boeing.
It's still
Yes.
right. It's still more reliable. It is still cheaper than Boeing. Chinese have got one aisle aircraft that they have also manufactured one aisle aircraft, which are much cheaper than your Boeing 737 one aisle aircrafts. We can't buy. We have to buy from the United States. Number one. Number two, they have said you cannot buy any security or army or equipment for the armed forces from China or any other place except from us.
Yes, sir.
Except from us. And there's so many things, I can go on and on because there are 100 items. Now, I'll just focus on these important ones. Soybean, wheat, and what do you call cotton.
Yes, sir.
Now we have a huge textile industry,
Yes.
huge, which we say is number 2, garments, spinning, weaving all together, knitting all together. So now, if this is the size of our industry, can we be restricted to buying cotton from the United States? Zero tariff. I can get cheaper cotton maybe in Uzbekistan, I can get cheaper cotton maybe in Kazakhstan.
Even from Pakistan.
Even Pakistan. So that's even India for that matter. So we have to explore so many places. South America,
Yes,
they grow a lot of cotton,
Yes.
so we can buy cotton from them. Now they were trying to restrict us to buying cotton from the United States. How will we run our industry? And they have gone back while these negotiations are on. They said, okay, from 50% we reduce it to 35%. That's the last letter that he sent. Now our team is talking. I have not seen any expert in that team. What should have happened is that this team should have comprised of some stakeholders. By stakeholders, I mean we export about $8.4 billion worth of garments to the United States.
Yes, sir.
There should be some important representative from the BGMEA or from this industry which can at least put forth its case that with 35% what will they do? With 35% if you have to pay, the Americans are now going to tell you that you tell us how much of it will you share with me while you are pricing the thing.
Yes.
So how do you go about doing it? Garment industries are growing. Vietnam is 20%. Okay, they do a bit high end. Cambodia doesn't do high end. They will shift to Cambodia. And let me tell you, sir, there are African countries which have come up in the garment sector. So we are being put to serious trouble by the Americans, and this has been done because the initial mistake was made by Yunus writing that first letter to him, very short, 3 months of
Space.
3 months. That created, because he has already said, soya bean will buy from you, this will buy from you, that will buy from you. So we are in a soup now. I don't think if Akiz, the gentleman who is negotiating, and Khalilur Rahman who is sitting on his right side, I don't know if they are the people who are capable enough of even discussing these tariffs.
Sir, would you mind to specify whose failure is this? Because government have different divisions, ministries, organizations to negotiate regarding the trade and tariffs issues with the United States. Whose specific failure is this?
Yunus. My straight answer and my short answer is Yunus. He should have met with these people. Has he met the stakeholders? Has he spoken to them? He has not. So it is Yunus who is responsible for all this. Did he write that letter before talking to the stakeholders? He did not. Has he spoken to the armed forces that can we buy this security equipment, aircrafts, tanks and your artillery, etc. from them? How much will it cost, and how much will it cost if you buy it from China? Because China's product is now proven by the Pakistani Air Force. The J-10 has already proven that it's an excellent aircraft. So did they speak to the Air Force chief? Did he speak to the army chief? He has not spoken to anybody. He has made a team. He thinks that Akiz, after God, the only man who can do something is this fellow Akiz, the businessman.
Very tough situation, sir has explained from his long time career experience and patriotism. I just want to come back to you, our international affairs commentator. You know, a major global power shifts towards bilateral trade deals. Are we witnessing the erosion and multilateral diplomacy? Because world is going to be divided. One side is China, one side is Russia, one side is United States of America.
Well, Mr. Kanchal, let me elaborate further on what you just said. Mr. Rashid was talking about how the EU Commission had met China and how EU is trying to understand their future. If you want to see how much Chinese development has taken place, you want to see how much US developments has taken place. And in recent weeks, we only understand that the US is now fueling this aggression inside the Gaza Strip. And it has claimed the lives of 60,000 people, and that number is growing every hour. As the aid distribution centers, as people who are lining up for aid, they're facing the stroke of the bullet, and some are dying in very gruesome manner. Of course, before the UN General Assembly set to take place in September, countries are now following the trend to condemn Israel in its action and to push forward the two-state solution. Something that Israel and Palestine, the state itself, has been having a tough time over the last few decades. Even though various countries, major powers are saying that two-state solution is proposed and whether what they can do to arrive at that solution, Israel seems to be very extremist in its actions and what they're trying to do. Aside from this, the entire world understands that America is being led by Donald Trump, someone who is infamous for setting deadlines and disregarding them on his own. We've seen he said that he'll give time to Iran for 2 weeks or 14 days before he'll understand if an attack was required. He broke that himself in 3 days. Now again, we see a similar pattern in the Russian tariff issue. They said that if Russia doesn't stop their aggression or their attack into Ukraine, initially he said he would give them 50 days, which has now turned into 10 days. So this, of course, creates a heightened tension between all the nations of this planet in what there is to understand from military escalations worldwide. And of course, one must understand this is a world where humans are attacking humans based on imaginary lines drawn upon God's creation. That's what I understand. Is humans are attacking other humans depending on what kind of intention they want to create or what kind of intention they have between one another.
Sir, this morning former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev has tweeted in his personal X handle.
Yes.
He said that giving the timeline to Russia by Donald Trump is a direct threat of war not between Russia and Ukraine, it is between Russia and the United States, and this tweet has been publicized in different medias also. Do you think Donald Trump is going to be able to stop this war between Russia and Ukraine? Later I will come to Sir also for this question.
Well, to stop the war, this is not a conventional war. It's not an escalation of 2-3 days or weeks. It has lasted for the better half of the last 3 years, with numerous casualties, numerous soldiers dying as well on both sides. Even foreign soldiers who are fighting for Russia, even they have had casualties. Not just so, Donald Trump must think out of the box with this one. He cannot just threaten him and give him a deadline that you must stop this. His war machine, the Russian war machine, is running very smoothly. I don't see anyone in Russia having some kind of economic issue for their own economy to grow. You know that they're a part of the BRICS nation with India, China, Brazil and South Africa. So definitely there are other global leaders who are in accordance to Russia in what they are doing. Of course, they don't support the war directly, but they support the economy of Russia. And the economy, if benefited, will definitely play a major role in their aggression of Ukraine. But Donald Trump's policy and how he's trying to handle the matter is unconventional, to say the least.
He's doing it personal. Let me come to Advocate Mohsin Rashid. Sir, with Russian missile strikes killing civilians in Ukraine, in Kiev, how should the West respond to this renewed aggression by Russia? Why Russia is intensifying its attack on Ukraine?
You see, Russia has only 2-3 basic points. Number one, they do not want Ukraine to be a part of NATO. That is one. The Americans had promised to them, and the Western powers had promised to them, that Eastern European countries will not be taken into NATO. And every promise made by them has been broken. So, there is no reason for Putin to trust the Western powers anymore. That is one. Secondly, Putin personally has spoken on this time limit of 50 days.
Yes, sir.
And then reducing it to 12 days and then reducing it to 10 days. He has personally spoken on this, and he has said categorically that he can keep on giving as much time as he wants. It is immaterial for us. We do not care about these timelines that are being set by Trump. Very categorically, he has said, he came, it was I think 2-3 minutes statement
Yes.
that he has given. He was talking in Russian. So, he has said that they will not. Now, what they need is, they want the Americans, the NATO countries to recognize, what's that place, Donetsk or Donetsk area? Donbass area. That they want them to be recognized. If they do not, the war will continue. And this is to be done by the Westerners and others, even the Americans. As long as that is not done, you cannot expect a ceasefire or the war to end. That is the primary concern that the Russians have, that place, because you have mostly Russian speaking people in that area. So, these are the few things that they are holding on to, and they are not willing to surrender. Zelensky is not willing to give away Donetsk or whatever that area is called. So, I do not see an end to it. In the meanwhile, the Americans have said they are going to provide them with patriotic missiles and all kinds of things. So, the Russians are not bothered. They are saying that if they provide, then we will see. My worry is that if this is done by the Americans, then perhaps the war will be enlarged. It will not
and
remain
it will be
confined.
a prolonged war. Sir, I just
Not
want
only
to give
prolonged,
you
enlarged to other areas also. North Korea could come in. At some stage, Chinese could come in. The Turks are sitting there with they could perhaps come in, because the Turks have tried. And Putin categorically himself has said that they wanted to sit with me in Istanbul, but as long as they do not come in with something concrete, I am not going to Istanbul. I am not interested in a ceasefire.
Right, sir. Another thing I just want to add you, and I will be requesting your answer on that, that is Donald Trump is spreading this war worldwide, because Donald Trump said officially he is going to put 100% tariffs on the countries who are buying oil from Russia. And he mentioned 3 big names: Brazil, India and China. That means he is putting Brazil, India, China aside with Russia.
So, he is actually targeting BRICS. Essentially, he is targeting BRICS, because you see, BRICS is now forming some kind of, talks are going on to form some kind of a common market among themselves. They will trade among themselves in their currencies, and eventually over a period of time, they will come up with another currency in which you have this foreign exchange holdings you can have. So, BRICS is being targeted. So, it is basically now tariff war is getting between northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So, here if you see, who are the suppliers to the world? China, far ahead of India, to some extent India, Brazil. How can you take these countries out and still you say that your industry will grow? It cannot. American industry will never grow, because number one, when the Americans stop buying from China, from Bangladesh, a shirt is going to cost them at least $100 a piece. At least $100 a piece, because you see, how much do they pay now to a worker? I think it's about $12 to $13 per hour, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So how can you do that? You cannot. If you produce cars, whatever cars you are producing, if you do not get supplies from outside, from the suppliers in China, Brazil and other places, you cannot have cheaper cars. So ultimately at the end of the day, he will have to compromise on his tariff war.
That's a good advice, sir. Time has come to go for a short break. We will be coming back soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let us have a look at Middle East, Israel, Iran or Israel, Gaza. My first question would be to our international affairs commentator Shamsul Alam Pantho. Why are current ceasefire negotiations in Gaza falling despite high-level US theater?
Well, even Donald Trump, 2 days ago, he was sitting down with Keir Starmer and he publicly said it on camera that he sees starvation of children, innocents, women and children being dead or dying due to not military causes but due to humanitarian causes. We've seen a shortage of food, shortage of baby formula. All of this has had a devastating toll amongst the Palestinian people there. But immediately afterwards, almost everyone at the two-state conference also includes Tawhid Hussain of Bangladesh as well. Even he had said he condemns such a gruesome assault, and there are several promises in order to not just keep it in the words of the paper. It's not on just paper anymore. They're trying to provide some promises. Some of them include France airdropping aid into the Palestinian territories, the Gaza territories, and not just that. Some of the Jordanian people who are right next to Israel, even they are now initiating themselves. I wish they had done it earlier, but during the Iran-Israel conflict, they were seen to be in support of Israel. So, not just that, the Foreign Minister for UK, David Lammy, had also said that they will recognize Palestine without further ado, and they will not wait until September, similar to France, and he received almost a minute of clapping from the entire crowd. So this shows how it tests the conscience of the world leaders across the globe. Such an event had a massive impact on humanity, and it had made sure that 2023 up until now, 2025, the most gruesome years for the state and for the livelihoods of Palestinians everywhere.
That's a good point you raised about the recognition of Palestine. I want to have the same take from Advocate Mohsin Rashid. Sir, you have remembered the Clinton's era. He has signed a Jack Rabin and Yasser Arafat a two-state solution, and three of them has been recognized for Nobel Prize for this initiative. But later America has shifted its position during the Bush Jr. era. Biden, Obama did nothing, Biden did nothing. Now Trump is refueling Israel to attack and kill the civilian people. Do you think that agreement still is valid?
Well, that has been blown with the wind. That's not there. Having said this, Clinton had initiated a discussion with the Palestinians and others, and I think it's a 13-point program that he gave them. And Clinton also told the Palestinians at that time that if you agree to this, it's on my desk. If you agree to this, then we can have a two-state solution right away. The Palestinians, and he said that my time is very limited because this is my 8th year, I'll not be here anymore. And this is published in his book as an appendix. These points and other things are there. So the Palestinians, problem is with the Palestinians also. They have a Palestinian Authority which has never asserted itself, especially after Yasser Arafat.
Yes.
This old man, Abbas, I don't know what he does, but he is not interested. Just because Hamas is there in Gaza, he does not even talk to Hamas. He does not. He thinks that only this West Bank, of which half is gone to Israel, he thinks that this is the Palestinian territory. Well, it is not. Gazians have been fighting, and they will continue to fight as long as they can. That is why they are not negotiating, they are not coming up with the release of the hostages. Some hostages and the bodies are still with the Gazan.
Around 55.
55, yes.
They're still there. And Israel is desperate to get them back. So that is where they are all stuck. Problem with Gaza, the government in Gaza is they want a long time solution. They are not interested in a ceasefire for 7 days, 1 month, give them the hostages, and then they come and take the entire Gaza Strip. They are not interested in that. So now the world is Stammer the other day, 2 days back, sitting in the golf club with Trump.
Yes, sir.
Across the table, they were having some snacks or whatever, just the two of them, one chair here, one chair there, and they have discussed this. Stammer has said that they are going to recognize the state of Palestine. It has now come from his mouth. The French president has said that they are going to recognize Palestine, but he will do it when he speaks to the General Assembly in September.
Yeah.
That is when he is officially going to announce.
Yes.
Stammer has not said anything like this. So, I think at the end of the day, the French president in the General Assembly in September announces the recognition of Palestine, then EU will have no other option but to recognize Palestine, the entire EU, because France and Germany are the two leaders of the entire European Union.
Absolutely.
So, that is now coming. We can see it is coming. That is why Netanyahu is a bit nervous on this, because if the French recognize the two-state theory, there is likelihood they will also start arming them. Problem is now with the Palestinians themselves, and Abbas is an idiot of the highest order. He is doing nothing. I mean, he is not giving statements about the killing.
It's good for nothing.
In Gaza. No statements. What kind of a human being and a Muslim is Abbas? I don't understand. So, this is where this conflict is. However, the Qataris are doing their best to stop it. And I think one of the reasons why the Qataris gave that $400 million aircraft to Donald Trump and many other things was essentially to bring him into good spirit so that they can work together in stopping this war. This is my reading. But the Qatar Hamdan, whatever his name is,
Mahmoud Abbas.
No,
Hamdan. King Hamdan.
He has come on television and said that I thought he is going to come here for negotiations, but it seems that he came here to extort as much as he could from the Qataris. He has gone, he's given a statement, you see. So, this is where things stand.
Sir, if I relate one more things for you, sir.
Sure.
How significant is Iran's covert involvement in prolonging the conflict in Gaza and Syria, because Iran has come forward to drop its bomb in the soil of Israel, successfully did it. United States understood the future of Israel, then they intervened. They attacked on the Iran's nuclear site. My question is, Israel and US together is facing Iran and its proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, Iraqi militias, Syrian militias. What are the other Arabian leaders are doing? Are they watching only television?
To some extent, they are trying their best to not get embroiled in such a war that Iran has now embroiled with Israel. But it wasn't Iran who attacked first. It was Israel who had shown aggression. And what Iran did was deter defense. And these are the themes that Iran had held very closely. Similar, you look at India and Pakistan as well. They attacked Pakistan, a sovereign land neighbor, and they deterred and defensed. So, the defense mechanism was first and foremost. Of course, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, you wipe out almost the top 5 of that institution, and to not expect a retaliatory escalation from Iran would be wrong. Of course, in modern times, we don't see Tel Aviv being bombed by any major nation, and the only instance that had happened was Iran. And I'm sure that they are now in development of a nuclear warhead, given that that was very hasty by Donald Trump to say that Iran shall not have a nuclear weapon. He said it as a way, as a autocratic leader, a leader who says pushes and bullies other leaders around the globe. And why I say this, Iran is likewise can have a nuclear weapon, as similar to A.Q. Khan's Pakistan as well. So, he was revered as the guy who invented nuclear technology for Pakistan. And it of course has some kind of reciprocal effect. When they see a Muslim nation coming down with their own nuclear warhead, it scares the West, scares almost everyone. And in recent times, I'm pretty sure that a newfound escalation between Israel and Iran could take place any month of this year.
Sir, I want to go to the expert because I have a question in my mind. Yesterday, Indian Parliament has made it clear that there was not a negotiation between Modi and Trump, and United States will not take it easily. Why they revealed the truth? My question is, how can Bangladesh strengthen its position amid rising Indo-Pacific tensions?
Well, Bangladesh can do nothing, because you should understand that you already have 3 detachments of Marines operating in the hill tracts, Cox's Bazar and Kuakata.
Yes, sir.
There are 3 detachments of Marines who are already operating. Number 2, we are also having exercises, our commandos are having exercises with the Americans.
Yes.
It is, I think, ongoing. In these circumstances, what do you expect from us? We will be a slave nation, that's about it. We will be a slave nation. And people like Yunus, people like Khalilur Rahman, who have been asked to look into these things, what do you expect from them? They are simply con men. These are, what do I say about them? They understand nothing of statecraft. They are going to ruin Bangladesh totally. And we are going to have more trouble in the coming days or weeks and months. When Sheikh Hasina sets up a government in exile, which she will do very soon, and once that is set up, we have got these Jubo Leagues and others who are in India already, and they can always go to India whenever they want to. India will open its borders, just as our people went in 1971 to India. So they will go, and you will have an armed.
Did you really mean it, sir?
I mean
Sheikh
it.
Hasina is going to
I mean
make a
it.
government in exile.
I mean it. I mean it. When I say something, I mean it. Because you must understand something. India is backing her, both with money and
Policy.
with diplomatic policy, totally guided by their officials. She has been provided with an office. She has all the paraphernalia, in the sense stenographers and secretaries and all these kinds of things. Directly, the raw people are there. They are all devising these means as to how the government in exile will be formed, who will head the government in exile. That's one part of it which is going on, and that means you are going to promote insurgency in Bangladesh, number 1. Number 2, let me tell you, in the city of Dhaka, there are more than a million Jubo League, Awami League cadres, Chhatro League in Dhaka city. Many of them are doing small works. Many of them are paddling rickshaws. Many of them are doing these auto things that for their livelihood.
And I heard somebody become security guard of some important
Yes,
buildings.
yes. They are all working. They are all working. There is no reason to doubt. And people, I have been telling them that people who think that Awami League is dead or everything is gone, I am sorry, you have more than 2-3 crore people who blindly love Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. You cannot take this away from their heart. It's deep inside their heart. You cannot take it. Maybe you can remove Sheikh Hasina. What do you do with those? And all these things started with the demolition of 32. They got more strength.
More cause, more reason.
Cause. Then you have the NCP made a serious mistake. You see, they said they are on a Pathojatra. For Gopal, what is the
Gopalganj.
name? Gopalganj. They said march to Gopalganj. Different strategy. And what did we see? People being killed.
5
I
deaths
mean,
and
these
violence.
people, the NCP guys would have been slaughtered there had they not been saved by the army and had they not been transported out of Gopalganj.
And, agencies or people, or to the general people, or to the political party. I have 4 stakes.
Okay, number 1, if the government in exile is formed and insurgency begins, then it will be a different ball game altogether. Now, since this has not happened, at this point Awami League is trying to reorganize itself. She is sitting in Delhi, she is in conversation with the people, and they are trying to reorganize. Now, if we can do something before that, so I say this on your television today, this government must be dismissed. There should be a proclamation of emergency. There should be another government directly backed by the armed forces of this country. This is a patriotic, these are very patriotic forces, and this government which comes under the banner of this proclamation of emergency, and you stop some of these things that are going on in the country, then I think what you can do is, you can, the moment this government comes within a week, the new government, within a week they should give a roadmap of all kinds of things that they want to do, starting from how do they look into the law and order situation, who do they talk to, how many police and other things they recruit, what do they do with the civil service, how do they bring the civil service towards their side, then you have to give a deadline for the elections.
Yes, sir.
And before that, you will have to decide whether you are, how much is PR you will do for elections, how much will be single constituency elections. So, you know, all kinds of things, and this is thing that can be done in 6 months' time, where the amendments will be of the constitution, because once you have the proclamation of emergency, what you do is, you either suspend this constitution or abrogate this constitution, and then you start afresh. So that will also weigh heavily on Sheikh Hasina and India. They will have to change their tactics then. And in that case, we can start by solidifying our defenses. And I would go to China, if I am in the government, I will go to China and sign an agreement with them for training of our BGB. This training will be done in those border areas which are vulnerable, like Akhara side, that side, Tripura, Agartala, from where they can enter near the river Feni. The training will be done there. I'll get people to come in into Kushtia side and other side where training will be done on the border, and our army will go in for exercises. They will be backing this government, but they will not be performing police duties. They will not perform police duties. They will back the army, they will go back to the borders and strengthen the defenses of Bangladesh.
Sir, I think fair enough. As a very ordinary professional of this country, I must remind our distinguished audience that when Advocate Mohsin Rashid, person like him, speaks like this, we feel so much scary, but we have to listen it. I will request the policymakers of this country, the politicians, the general people, the law and order professionals to listen this piece particularly from Advocate Mohsin Rashid very carefully and take measures. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really running out of time, but before ending, I just want to remind you that today is 30th July, International Day of Friendship. Please try to love each other. Don't be too much on internet, talk to each other. And other important thing is, today is 30th July, World Day of Against Trafficking in Persons. Human trafficking is organized crime and this exploitation. And at the end, I just want to say happy birthday to one gentleman who has millions of fans around the globe, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Austrian-born American bodybuilder, iconic film actor, who was famous for his series The Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, and former governor of California, turns today 78. Happy birthday, Arnold. I will see you tomorrow.